Okay, so extraterrestrial contact, lesson 1, understanding the nature of reality. Okay, so as part of this extraterrestrial contact course, it's sort of necessary to understand how reality works, sort of how reality is structured and how we create extraterrestrial contact within our consciousness. So I'm going to give you a basic understanding of the nature of reality as I've come to understand it through following spiritual teachers and channeled material and quantum physics and through lots of research. So I'm not an expert on this area, and a lot of the facts that I'm going to be giving are going to be a bit sketchy. I'm not an expert, but I wanted to do more research into this, but time is on our heels. We don't really have, I feel really to push forward with this now. So I'm going to have to dive in at the deep end and give you my understanding of the nature of reality. And I've learnt this from several teachers. I've learnt this from the Ra material, the Law of One. I've learnt this from studying Bashar, Bentinho Massaro, spending time with traditional spiritual teachers such as Mooji, through quantum physics, through watching movies such as What the Bleep Do We Know. So what I'll do is I'll link in the description box to more detailed descriptions, because the facts I'm going to be giving a sketch. As I say, I'm not an expert on this, but I'm diving in. It's necessary to lay the foundation for the rest of the course. I prefer to teach from experience and my own understanding and knowledge and intuition, but I'm going to have to sort of delve into areas that I don't fully understand. So to start with, if we can understand that existence is sort of fundamental to our being, we will always exist. It's like part of our nature. It's like, so if we can understand that all of existence exists now, there is no past, there is no future. The unmanifest and the manifest exist as us in the now, in the present. Everything exists now. There is no time. The way we experience time is like everything exists now. Infinite possibility exists now, in the moment, in the present moment, here and now. And the way we experience time is we shift through parallel timelines, sort of like slides in a movie projector. And we shift from parallel reality to parallel. It's the infinite parallel realities existing now, all like still slides. And the way we create this illusion of time, our time-space reality, is to shift through parallel reality, like trillions of times a second, to give the illusion of time. So from there, I'm going to describe this as if time did exist, because like time doesn't exist, but we also have the experience of time. And to understand this, we'll have to give it in a linear expression. So if you can understand, this is all you. There is only one consciousness in existence, and this is you, this is us, this is we, this is us. We all exist as one consciousness. There is no separation. So there is the one. The one is the unmanifest consciousness, infinity unmanifest, infinite potential. That is the one. And this is how life started, infinity unmanifest. And it's uncomprehendable. We can't understand this with our physical mind. But simultaneously and linearly explaining this, the one infinite unmanifest wanted to experience itself in manifest reality. So this is where reality as we know it, infinity as we know it, came into creation. The one unmanifest infinite expressed the infinite unmanifest in reality. And the way creation did this was to experience creation in every way that creation can be experienced. And this is the idea of infinity that we know it. So yeah, out of this infinite potential, we could say light came into existence. And light is like chaos. Like light was the first form of the one creator, the one manifest in reality. Light came into existence, and this is where the love light of spirituality comes into play. So light comes into existence. And light is just like chaos. There is no form, and it's just like infinite light. And the way light moved into form, like chaos into matter, into form, is through love. Love came into existence. Love is the first potential of the creator, the first creation of the creator. It is light wanting to move into form. This is the manifest in principle of the universe, and this is why it's important to follow your desire, your highest excitement, your passion and your heart, because this is the creative principle of creation in form. This is the one creator creating in form. So light, chaos, through love, wanted to come into form, wanted to come into a structured reality. And as love comes into form, we create what I call presence energy, which is everything as we know it, the manifest form in reality. This world is like presence energy. It is like light coming into form through love. And this is the manifest reality. So this reality we see around us is light, chaos, coming into organised form through love in presence energy. And this is the way I describe it. It's known as presence energy. In spiritual teachings, you're taught to go to quieten the mind and to come into the present moment. And this is sort of coming into this understanding of presence, of form in its natural form before like we put our mind overlay on it. It's just existence, and this is presence energy. So this takes us into the idea of reality. And so presence energy forms. So we've got the one unmanifest wanting to experience itself, the infinite unmanifest wanting to experience itself in infinite form, and this is light. Comes into light, and then it wants to experience itself in creation and love. So it progresses from infinite chaos in light into love, which is form, coming into a cohesive reality. And so from this we come into the idea of the 7 densities of evolution, the 7 densities of creation. So this love light creation of presence energy of form splits down into what I call the 7 densities, what Ra calls the 7 densities. And this is sort of like, it also mirrors like the 7 chakras of the body, like all through creation. Creation is split down into 7 levels. This mirrors many times in creation. And so the first density that life experiences itself is like mineral form, like rock form. Like planets will come into existence, and it's just like pure presence energy, pure consciousness, really just experiencing itself. It's like basically life experiencing itself in first density in the most primeval form, basically. Imaginable. And from the first density, life evolves. See, this is the evolution. Life experiences itself with pure presence energy, and then life wants to understand itself. As life wants to move out of just solid rock matter, so it moves into second density, and this is the idea of basic plant material and animal life. And so it's like the idea of consciousness wanting to experience growth, wanting to experience expansion, love moving from just pure awareness into expansion, into growth, into movement. This is the principle of movement. And as I understand it, the lesson of second density is the idea of individuation. So you've got animals, and they all exist like cats, for example. Their main aim is to eat, to survive, and this is the momentum of the species. And second density is like sort of like one species all moving the same, but the lessons of second density is the idea of individuation. So the cat becomes a pet towards the end of second density, and humanity, a human owner, gives it a name and says, your name is Felix the cat. And the cat becomes to get this idea of individuation. It no longer views itself as, because second density, they're not self-aware, they're not aware of themselves, they're just doing the cat thing with no real awareness. They are just a cat. They are not aware that we are aware, because we are aware that we are aware. We are self-aware beings. But cats, second density beings, are not. But as they come to the end of second density, they come to this idea of individuation, and this idea that they become self-aware. So really, this is the lesson of second density, of self-awareness, of individuation, of breaking out of the collective mold. And then we enter into third density of self-awareness, and this is the density that humanity is in at the minute, that we are coming to the end of. Third density, the idea of self-awareness. It's more of the exploration of individuation, and the more you evolve as a third density being, certainly towards the end of third density, you become more individuated, like you break out of the confines of the paradigm, the confines of the postage stamp consensus, as David Icke would call it, and you start like experiencing reality in your own way. Like I've like totally broken out of the postage stamp consensus and exploring like extraterrestrial contact and like humanity and normal person. So you're crazy. But this is the idea of third density, like breaking out of that, all doing the same thing and becoming more individuated. And at the end of third density, the lesson of third density is to make the choice whether you want to progress to fourth density love or fourth density darkness. So fourth density love, light, is the idea of service to others, the idea that we're hopefully moving to, that I'm moving to. You follow your passion, you follow your highest excitement, you become more enlightened, you discover you're one with all of creation, and you want to serve all of humanity because you know that the ILU, love and compassion, wells up in your heart, and you want to serve all of humanity, and you choose fourth density positive. And that is the lesson of third density, to choose fourth density positive or fourth density negative. See, fourth density negative is a very valid expression of consciousness in reality. All it is does not judge, and so fourth density negative is possibly the way that some of these dark entities that are controlling the world are moving towards. They're working with like energies from higher consciousness, possibly negative oriented entities, to control our planet, to manipulate for their own personal gain. So they control thousands of people, they take all the money off thousands of people, they control, they manipulate, they kill. This is fourth density negative, the idea of a sort of fear-based reality where you serve yourself out of fear and you manipulate and control and kill, and that's fourth density negative. And in the idea of creation, there's no judgment between fourth density negative and fourth density positive from the one infinite creator. There's no difference. It's all a beautiful expression of creation. And this idea of non-judgment is sort of what comes up in spiritual teachings and religions. This is where it comes from. See, the one creator doesn't judge, and if we cannot judge, we can choose. See, when you judge the negative, you're putting a charge on it and you're drawing yourself into the negative. So we have to learn to understand this perspective of the one infinite creator of non-judgment. Then we can not put any charge on the negative energy and just focus on the positive, the love and the light, and move in that direction. So that's it. And as I say, this mirrors the chakra systems, and as you know, you've got the fourth chakra. You got the red, orange, yellow, green. The green chakra is the chakra of love, your heart energy. As you move into as you heal the emotional turmoil and the fears about death and existence. Oh wow, there's a deer there. And probably a highly evolved third density being. And so so we move into this fourth density love energy that mirrors the chakra, the fourth chakra. And so fourth density, so it's getting a bit murky here because I'm not an expert on these. So, but fourth density, as I understand it, is it's the fourth density positive. We'll talk about that one because I'm not too interested in fourth density negative. You'll have to go to other teachings to find out about that. So fourth density positive is the idea, as I understand it, moving into love, moving into compassion. It's that movement of the universe, the movement of consciousness, love, wanting to serve humanity, wanting to serve yourself, wanting to align with your highest excitement, your passion, your calling in life. And when you find that excitement, this love and this compassion wells up in your heart and you want to serve humanity, and that is the idea of fourth density. And so towards the end of fourth density, as we move into fifth density, I don't know much about fifth density. It's not that relevant to our reality. As I understand it, it's more like you don't experience through service to others. It's more about going into yourself, not in a negative way. It's like going into yourself, and it's the idea of the yogi in the cave, like meditating for 50 years. This is sort of, they're probably fifth density beings because it's all about sort of going into yourself and discovering like love and light and understanding creation through going inwards. So that's fifth density. Not that relevant to our reality. There's a few sort of fifth density beings here, like these yogis that sit in the cave and raise the vibration of consciousness and do a beneficial thing for the planet, but there's very few of them now. It's all about fourth density and sixth density energies, like service to others and creating this new reality, transformation of consciousness, not the traditional sort of spiritual idea of withdrawing into a cave. That was for the past, not relevant now. So sixth density is relevant for us because there are many sixth density beings on this planet at the minute that have like come from high densities and come down into this third density reality to teach and share with us, because sixth density is the idea of service to others through sharing knowledge and wisdom, I believe. As I say, I'm not an expert on these high densities. I don't fully understand them, but it's useful for understanding where we're going forward on this course. And from sixth density we move into seventh density, which is really the final density, as I understand it, of this universe, where you merge back into oneness with creation. You become pure God consciousness. You are all of creation. You become infinity. You become God. You become the one. And that's seventh density, and that's really the end of this universe, the end of our experience in this conscious reality. And at that point, when we complete seventh density, all collapses back into the void, and a new universe is born out of that, and a whole new octave. And you could call it eighth density, but you're sort of back to first density, then it's a whole new level. So that's the idea of the 7 densities. So next up, I'll give a basic idea of the soul, the oversoul, and the higher self. So from our physical perspective, we are physical beings on this reality, but we can step up to a higher level and we have a higher self, and this is what gives us our intuition, our excitement, our passion. This is what shows us the way to go in our life. When we're following excitement moment to moment, this is the guiding light, our higher self. It's saying this is your excitement. It's basically your highest excitement. It's a physical translation in reality of your higher self. It's like your higher self is like this being that exists in a higher dimension, and it is you. It has a wider view of your reality, of your path. It's sort of like you stood on top of the mountain. It can see where you're going. It understands a greater potential, and this is why you tune into your excitement and follow your higher self. So that, and above the higher self, so this isn't exactly correct. I might be making flaws here, but this is a general understanding. I suggest you follow the links in the description box and get a greater understanding of this. Bashar is great for talking about this section. And so above your higher self, you've got your soul, and your soul is like it's like you, but it contains all your past lives, all your future lives, all parallel realities, all lives connected to you. It's like, so your future lives and past lives, they aren't really in the past and the future. They all exist now as part of your soul. And a past life, it isn't really a past life of you, because you can't have a past life of you, because you exist now. You are here now. A past life is not you, that's someone else. However, from your soul's perspective, your soul is having all these lives simultaneously. And when we tap into and have this experience of a past life or a future life, what we're actually tapping into, and as an experience, it's very real, but the ultimate nature of reality is not how it's structured. It is multiple lives happening now, in parallel realities, concurrently within your soul, and your soul is growing from all these parallel realities, experiencing, growing. And above the soul, there's like the oversoul, and this is like a group of souls on the planet. Like there'll be an oversoul. There's many souls on this planet, all exploring similar themes. And there was, I don't know how many, but there's probably thousands. There's like millions of souls on the planet, maybe thousands of oversouls. And then the planet has an oversoul. So we have a collective consciousness of the planet, which is our group mind, and this is the oversoul of the planet. And then above there, you've got sort of like you're just moving into like oneness and God. And so from here we move into the idea of parallel realities and how we shift from reality to create this experience of time. So as I say, everything exists now. There is only the present moment, and we experience this illusion of time from shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality trillions of times a second. And I suggest Bashar describes this really well. I believe Bentinho talks about this quite a bit as well. And this is sort of how we understand how to use synchronicity and the law of attraction. When you understand that we create our reality by our vibration. If we're giving out a positive vibration, we're going to shift to a positive parallel reality. And if we give out a negative vibration, we're going to shift to a negative parallel reality. It's like all these flies around here now. If I started getting really frustrated with these flies, I'd shift to a parallel reality where there's more frustration, more flies. But if I sort of come into this peaceful, joyful state of acceptance of the flies and understand they're part of this experience, and perhaps the flies will stay because that will help me, or perhaps the flies will move on. We'll shift into this positive reality. As you can see, oh, they're going. So we shift to basically what you put out is what you get back. The law of attraction. So when you give out a positive state of mind, you're shifting to a parallel reality of a positive vibration, and this is how the law of attraction works, and this is how synchronicity works. So you think, right, I'm in a positive state of mind, I'm in a positive state of being, I trust money's going to come to me, I trust the universe is going to support me on my passion, I trust everything I need to come into my path is going to come away. and you stay in this positive high state of vibe, you're making videos about excitement and passion, and then the next day someone phones you up and say, hey, I'm looking for someone to do a conference speech on extraterrestrial contacts. And this is synchronicity, so you've shifted to a parallel reality where the person who wants you to do a conference talk on extraterrestrial contact has shifted into a parallel reality where you're following your excitement and talking about extraterrestrials. And this is how you create your reality, moment to moment to moment. You focus on the state of being. See, circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters, as Bashar would say. See, the past has no relevance on the future, no relevance at all, other than what we give it in this illusion. It seems to, but according to the structure of reality, it has no effect on how we create our reality. So what we need to do is we need to understand our vibration, our state of being. So if we believe that extraterrestrials exist, we believe them into existence. If we believe that extraterrestrials don't exist, we won't see them, because our beliefs and our vibration create our reality. There's a great example of this is when the explorers like Cook and all these explorers started exploring the New World. I never remember the name of them. But they went out in their sailing ships and they anchored up off the indigenous shores. And apparently the indigenous tribes couldn't actually see the ships in the sea. They could see the rowing boats as if they were appearing out of nowhere coming to shore, but they couldn't see the ships. And it's because the ships were so far out of the native indigenous population's understanding of reality and belief system, they couldn't see them because they didn't believe that ships could exist like these massive ships that the Westerners had. They couldn't see them, and this is very much with why some people see UFOs and some people don't, because you create your own reality out of your beliefs. Seeing is not believing, believing is seeing, and that's why all these skeptics, they're probably never going to get there. They're going to end up repeating third density because they're too skeptical and they can't break out their 5 sense reality. You've got to understand that seeing is believing. Sorry, believing is seeing. When you believe extraterrestrials exist, you believe them into reality because you create your reality out of your consciousness, vibrationally, through your state of being. You shift to parallel realities through what you exist. So yeah, so this is basically the idea of synchronicity, parallel realities, the law of attraction, how we create our reality. Lastly, I'd like to give this idea of impermanence. In the Buddhist teachings, you hear about impermanence, and it's the idea that nothing lasts forever. Everything is changing. It's one of the fundamental laws of creation. Everything changes. The only thing that doesn't change is like your existence, your true nature, your true core being. But everything else, everything within form, everything within the manifest world changes. You can never hold on to anything. And sort of, this is quite sort of beneficial to understand on this path because it helps you let go of attachment to sort of physical objects, to material gain, to relationships on the physical plane, because once you step into this extraterrestrial dimension, you won't be held to hold on to these negative human beliefs of lack, like, oh, I need a partner to make me happy, I need money to make me happy, I need this, I need this, I need this. We don't need anything. Joy and bliss is our natural state of consciousness. And when we sort of just let go of all our fears and all our beliefs, we are only joy, we are only bliss, we are only presence. And this is the level that extraterrestrials exist on. And if we have negative beliefs in our system and we come into contact with extraterrestrials, it's like Bashar describes it, it's like two cogs coming together. You've got a super fast moving cog and a really slow moving. They come together, it's going to blow up. And what happens is this high vibrational energy that the extraterrestrials carry, this knowledge of love and infinite light, all is well, all is good, all is excellent, all is amazing, comes into our human reality. And we're like, oh no, I'm going to be unhappy if I don't get this girlfriend and I don't have this money and someone tells you. And it's so conflicting that what happens is it dredges it all to the surface, and it's like it causes an evolution of consciousness. We enter this higher consciousness of the extraterrestrials, but it forces all our negative beliefs to the surface. And this is why many of us that are on this extraterrestrial spiritual path go through quite a lot of challenge, quite a lot of emotional healing, quite a lot of processing before we are able to enter these extraterrestrial consciousnesses, because they're on such a high level. You can't have negative lack beliefs. You can't have any negative energy. You can't have fear of death. You can't have fear of lack of money. You can't have fear of lack of happiness if you don't be in a relationship. They'll all get purged out your system. So that's basically it. I think I've covered most of this on the structure of reality. So Bashar talks about the 4 laws. What are the Bashar 4 laws? 1, you exist. Existence is fundamental to your nature. If you exist now, you will always exist. It's fundamental to your existence. You can't ever not exist. Existence can't shift into non-existence, so don't worry, relax. You will always exist in some form or other. 2, the one is the all is the one, the idea that all is connected, the infinite unmanifest and the manifest and all of infinity, they're all you, they're all within your consciousness. Everything that exists within your consciousness, an aspect of you. Number 3, what you put out is what you get back. The idea of the law of attraction, what you focus on is what you create. Your beliefs create your reality. Your vibrational state of being creates your reality. And Bashar's final law, 4th law, is, what is it? Everything changes but the first 3 laws. The idea of impermanence that I just talked about. And I believe Bashar, I haven't been following Bashar that closely lately, but I believe he has now added a 5th law, is everything exists here and now. So I'll just put that in there because it's really vital. So I hope that gives you some understanding of the nature of reality and how we create our reality out of a consciousness. Because basically we are creating these extraterrestrials. All of existence exists within our consciousness. And the reason extraterrestrial consciousness is happening in my reality is because I created it. I created this out of my reality. I created you out of my reality. You created me out of your reality. And you created extraterrestrial contact out of your reality. Something in you knew that there was a better way to live life, a higher purpose, a higher calling, a divine purpose in life. And something in you screamed out for extraterrestrial contact. And you have created it. You have created this reality. Congratulations. We're moving into a new dimension, a new paradigm. Extraterrestrial contact is upon us. Have a wonderful day.